Today is Tuesday, July 8th, 2025, and this is Sliced. Climate finance and extreme heat. I live in Madrid, a city that's notoriously hot during the summer. There's even a local saying along the lines of, Lo único que hay que hacer en Madrid en verano es irse. The only thing to do in Madrid in summer is leave. By July, the city usually feels like an oven. But this year, the oven was turned on early. As early as June, Spain and much of Europe were already in the grip of extreme temperatures, setting the stage for what will likely become one of the hottest summers on record. The recent heat wave wasn't just uncomfortable, it was a stark reminder that climate extremes are no longer the exception, but the new normal. This summer, Europe is experiencing one of its most intense heat waves on record, with cities across the continent facing extreme temperatures that have strained health systems, disrupted infrastructure, and endangered vulnerable populations. Spain recorded its hottest June ever, prompting widespread heat alerts, early school closures, and the cancellation of outdoor events. Streets emptied during peak hours as residents and tourists sought shelter in shaded areas or air-conditioned buildings, many of which were ill-equipped for such prolonged heat. Across the continent, similar scenes played out. Heat domes engulfed Spain, Portugal, France, and Central Europe, pushing temperatures to historic highs and triggering wildfires, red-level health warnings, and major disruptions to transport and energy systems. These extremes are not anomalies, but part of a worsening trend directly linked to climate change. Scientific studies confirm that climate change is amplifying the frequency, duration, and severity of heat waves in Europe and globally. Urban areas like Athens, Rome, and Madrid now experience summers that stretch up to 5 months, with heat events arriving earlier and staying longer. The World Meteorological Organization warns that unless emissions are curbed and resilience is built, heat-related deaths and economic losses will skyrocket in the coming decades. The science is unequivocal. We must adapt to a hotter world. This is where climate finance becomes essential. In this context, climate finance can be the local, national, or international funding, both public or private, aimed at reducing greenhouse gas emissions and adapting to climate change impacts. While much attention is focused on clean energy transitions, adaptation, especially to extreme heat, remains underfunded. Yet adaptation measures, like those that reduce urban heat exposure, are critical to saving lives. Climate finance can directly address extreme heat through investments in urban cooling projects, such as green spaces, tree canopies, reflective surfaces, and heat-resilient buildings. It can also support the development of early warning systems and emergency heat action plans. In response to intensifying summer heat, Seville, one of Europe's hottest cities, has launched Gordian Knot, a sustainable urban cooling project inspired by ancient Moorish and Persian technologies. The system uses underground channels to circulate cool air through public spaces, lowering surface temperatures by up to 10 degrees Celsius. Powered by solar energy and free of fossil fuels, the project revives traditional Knot engineering to create shaded promenades and gathering areas for relief during extreme heat. Seville's approach blends cultural heritage with modern innovation and offers a powerful model for cities worldwide facing similar climate threats. Innovative financial tools are also emerging to meet this moment. Environmental impact bonds, for instance, allow investors to fund climate-resilient infrastructure with returns linked to performance outcomes. Disaster risk finance and insurance mechanisms help governments access rapid capital in response to climate-related disasters. These tools distribute risk and encourage both public and private investment in adaptation projects, particularly those targeting heat risk. By leveraging blended finance models, countries can unlock greater funding pools to protect vulnerable communities. Crucially, the allocation of climate finance must be equitable. Vulnerable groups, including the elderly, outdoor workers, low-income households, and those in poorly insulated housing, face the greatest heat risks. Funding mechanisms must prioritize these communities, not just in developing countries, but also within high-income regions like Europe. Transparency, accountability, and inclusive planning are vital to ensuring that finance reaches those who need it most and that adaptation is not a privilege of the wealthy. As Europe and the rest of the world warm, the risks to public health, economies, and infrastructure will grow. Climate finance offers a pathway to respond by funding mitigation, enabling adaptation, and fostering innovation. But urgency is critical. With the right investments now, we can build cities that not only survive, but thrive in a hotter world.